Today, we're going to go over what the Global Innovation Awards are. For those of you who have participated in First LEGO League in the past, you might know that it's a side competition that we host every year, and it focuses on the innovation project. But this year, we're doing something a little bit different because everything is a little bit different this year. So today, we're going to go over what is the GIA, how it's different from the First LEGO League innovation project, especially if you're already working on your innovation project. We're going to take a look at some examples of GIA pitches, and we're also going to talk about what a pitch is versus a presentation. And then we'll let you know how you can get started with your GIA season. Now, what exactly is the Global Innovation Awards? The Global Innovation Awards is an annual competition, and students have the opportunity to be inventors, innovators, and entrepreneurs all at the same time. As inventors, you're going to come up with new ideas or new ways of thinking about a problem. As innovators, you're going to test your ideas and you're going to improve upon them. And then finally, as entrepreneurs, you're going to explore how you can bring your product to the people who need it the most. The way that the Global Innovation Awards works is that it begins with local judging, just like the First LEGO League Innovation Project judging, and then it culminates in a remote international competition in June of 2021. We're going to talk more about that competition later. Like I mentioned, traditionally, GIA judging is only open to First LEGO League teams. But this year, we're opening up the competition to any group of 2 to 10 students who want to join at no cost to you. That means if you have a sibling that's in middle school and you just want to team up with them and do the Global Innovation Awards, you could do that. Now, because the GIA is linked to First LEGO League, it does follow the same theme as the First LEGO League game. This year, the theme is called Replay, and it focuses on the different ways that people play and stay active. Let's take a deeper look into the theme and talk about some of the ways that you could approach the GIA topic. Now, the first step to innovation is to find a need in your community. This year's prompt for the GIA reads, identify a problem related to people not being active enough, research the problem, and come up with a solution by designing a new piece of technology or improving an existing one. Wherever you live, studies show that physical activity is declining worldwide. We know that exercise is beneficial to our physical, social, and emotional well-being, but there are a lot of reasons why people might not be active enough. Now, when I think about reasons why people might not be active enough, I think about issues related to motivation or access to space, especially in times like these. So maybe I'm too tired after a day of work, or maybe it's too cold outside to go out for a jog. Those are good places to start thinking about the prompt, but I wanted to share with you some other ways that you could approach this year's theme. Did you know that there's a big gap in youth sports participation between lower income and higher income families? Youth sports is one of the best ways to keep young people motivated, but obstacles such as the cost of sports equipment or school budget cuts, they prevent some lower income students from participating. Outside of income, there are lots of other barriers to youth sports participation that you can read about at the link on this slide. There's also a global gender disparity in physical activity. A 2018 study showed that 32% of women worldwide are considered inactive, while only 23% of men are. There are many factors that play into this disparity, and you can learn more about them at the WHO page on this slide. Finally, getting exercise is more important than ever for those who are living with a disability. There are lots of ways that sports and other exercises have already been adapted for people who are disabled, but there's also a lot of room for innovation. How can you make an adaptive physical activity safer, more accessible, and more enjoyable? In the end, we hope that your team will work on a problem that you care about. Your job, if you are a coach, is to help your team suss out those issues that matter the most to them and then pick one to work on together. The brainstorming process, it can take a little bit of time, but once you find the project that works the best for you, that's the best way to become motivated and to go through your project. Now, once you've decided on the problem that you're going to tackle, it's time to get creative with your solution. Let's take a look at a couple of different ways that you could start innovating. One way you can innovate is to take an existing invention and apply it in a new way. For example, a pull-up bar, which is essentially a monkey bar, was an existing piece of gym equipment, but it was really expensive. Somebody found a clever and affordable way to bring it into people's homes, and it became a very successful product. You could do the same thing with your solution. You could also invent a brand new product using existing research. For example, Nintendo was interested in using gamification to improve people's lives. That just means that they want to turn something that is usually a chore into something that resembles a game. And they created this game called Ring Fit Adventure, which basically uses a Pilates ring as a controller. Turns out, exercising is super fun if you're pretending to fight monsters at the same time. Innovators can also use an existing product and then improve upon it. For example, this bike called the Peloton bike. It is essentially a treadmill with a tablet attached to it. But by combining those two technologies, the bike creates even more value because it allows people to participate in live classes from their living room while they're biking. However you approach your problem, you'll have a lot more fun if you think creatively. Being an inventor, innovator, and entrepreneur, it's more than just a process. It's also a mindset. Again, if you're a coach, you're going to be helping your team hone in on that one solution that they're most excited about. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty details. For GIA judging, you'll be preparing a 5-minute pitch. There are 4 main parts to your pitch. First, you'll communicate your problem and solution to the judges. Then you'll show them a prototype or a model of your product. The rest of your pitch is an opportunity to explain how you developed your product and what resources you'll need to bring it into the real world. If you've never gone through the process of creating a product yourself, don't worry. In a few minutes, I'll show you a resource that has detailed lesson plans and instructions that your team can follow. The GIA judges will be using a rubric to help them determine which teams will move on to the next round. The rubric is similar to the FLL Innovation Project rubric, except that it cares about the quality of your solution. It also considers your implementation plan, and you're required to have a model or a drawing of your solution. On the other hand, it doesn't quite care about the quality of the research, but it's given that you will need to have good quality research in order to come up with a solution that works in the real world. I would still highly recommend that you reach out to experts for information, for guidance, and to help you review your solution. Now, if you already have an FLL team or you're part of an FLL team, you might be wondering what the difference between a pitch and a presentation is. After all, you've already started to create that 5-minute presentation for your project. How can you tweak it for the GIA? One way that I like to think about a pitch is that it's a competitive presentation. Instead of just presenting facts, you're also trying to sell someone on your idea. After all, you're competing with all the other products that are out there. A good way to pitch your product is to focus on the user's needs and how your invention fulfills those needs. I know it sounds a little bit abstract, but let's take a look at some 30-second pitches from previous GIA semifinalist teams. To give you a bit of context, the theme for this GIA was city planning, city shaper for those of you that participated, and teams were asked to find innovative ways to improve their cities wherever they lived.
Imagine your dream house. What's the noise?
Regular building blocks don't insulate homes from noise and extreme weather conditions.
Now, look at this one. It's built with our e-wall, an eco-friendly block.
Can you hear that? Yes, nothing. Isolation's been improved by up to 70%.
It's made with local recycled materials, including invasive plants.
And you can save up to $3,000.
Now, which one do you prefer?
Imagine equal, there's nothing equal.
For you, dreamers.
Team 2.
8,
8.
9,
5.
Researching construction site challenges, we learned that, even with a strong emphasis on safety, heat exhaustion and overexertion remain the second highest cause for work-related injuries.
Our solution is a system that sends alerts for workers who have heat exhaustion or COVID-19 or who have stopped moving. Biometric Hard Hat sends data that is crunched in the cloud for quick alerting.
Thanks for watching!
Hello, we are Team 8 to Automate from Dublin, Ohio, USA. Did you know that there are 4,000 roof collapses in North America each year, accounting for $4 billion in insurance claims?
Our roof monitoring system, REST, helps flat roof building owners prevent roof collapses, reduce maintenance costs, and most importantly, save lives.
Everyone rests easier with
REST!
Hi, we are the fidgety Pokemon from Phoenix, Arizona.
In dusty areas like where we live, false alarms caused by dust are a costly and dangerous problem.
This is the Dust Collar. The Dust Collar is an adjustable band that goes around your smoke alarm and prevents false alarms caused by dust.
False alarms are a problem when people disconnect their alarms because of the annoying noise. Then they won't be alerted if there's a real emergency.
More importantly, false alarms divert fire department resources from real emergencies.
Remember, keeping out dust is a must.
Like never before, we realize the power of germs. Are you ready for a new weapon in the fight against them? We are the Golden Pandas from Westfield, Indiana, USA.
C. diff is a leading cause of death worldwide, with 500,000 annual infections in the U.S. alone. The sporalizer uses a combo of UV light and a chemical to make C. diff visible. Once the C. diff is visible, hospitals can effectively clean it.
We believe that this is the next revolutionary step in medical technology and could help prevent 29,000 deaths per year. If you can't see it, you just can't clean it.
We are North 40 from Maryland, and we designed Bird Buddies Window Spray, a retrofit for windows designed to save birds.
988 million birds die each year from crashing into windows.
People want to help, but they need a cheap solution that doesn't block their view.
Birds can see UV light that people can't, so we designed a UV spray and stencil to help birds see windows. Birds are pollinators that help our food grow, and we can't survive without them. The world needs birds, and birds need our help.
Get no collision UV visual.
Bird Buddies Window Spray!
We are the fourth from Clinton, Wisconsin, USA.
Rats and mice cause $19 billion in damage each year. They also carry horrible diseases. We have developed a rodent-repelling insulation. Our no-kill, patent-pending product embeds ferret pheromones in PIR board.
Using rodents' natural fear instinct, we can keep them out of the 21 million homes they infest each year.
Rodent-repelling house wrap with no-kill is safe and undetectable in humans and installs easily.
We are ready to improve rodent control worldwide.
So that was a sampling of Global Innovation Awards innovations from all over the US and also outside of the US too. And the one thing to notice is really just how diverse the problems and solutions are. For example, I generally don't worry about dust in my fire alarm, but if you live in a dry area, that might be something that you do worry about. So definitely look for inspiration in your own community, whether that's your house, your block, your city, your state, whatever inspires you. Awesome. So the last thing you should know about the GIA this year is that the entire competition is being held remotely. That means you'll be presenting to a panel of volunteer judges over Zoom, but it also means that you can use any type of visuals that you want, whether they're analog or digital. You can use cardboard props, drawings, computer-generated models, Legos, or whatever is available at home. The only thing that you should do is have your presentation be mostly live rather than recorded footage. So unlike the videos that you just saw, you're going to be using videos as a supplement to what you're saying rather than recording it beforehand. Now, we'll be hosting webinars in January on how to use Tinkercad for anyone who is interested in 3D models. And if there's other software that you want to learn, just reach out and let us know, and we'll see what we can put together. There is a very small chance that we will change the live judging to pre-recorded judging if we do get a lot of teams that are participating this year. But for now, we can pretty much guarantee that all teams will be getting a live judging panel. The final round of the Global Innovation Awards is the one that's held remotely in June. So it's going to be held between June 28th and June 30th. It's a weekend event of 2021. In this remote event, 20 teams from around the world will present their innovation to industry professionals. And the top selected team out of those 20 teams will receive exclusive prizes from First sponsors. And you'll be featured on First website, which is really cool. So if you're a coach and you're interested in starting a GIA team this year, please fill out the registration form at this URL, bit.ly/registerGIA. The capitalization is important there. Even if you don't have all the students for your team yet, registering will let us know that you want to receive more information about the competition, and it also helps us plan for the season. The deadline for registration is going to be the end of this month. Now, before we get to the Q&A, I'd like to share a couple of great resources with you to get you started on your GIA journey. The first resource is one of my favorites. Venture Labs is a nonprofit organization that believes that every kid should learn the entrepreneurial mindset, and I agree with that. They have a detailed curriculum that you can use for free with tons of age-appropriate activities and lesson plans. You can get it at venturelabs.org/non-commercial curriculum. To help you brainstorm problems and solutions, First has also put together a list of inspirational resources for the season. You'll find a link to great articles from magazines, research journals, educational websites, and more. Check out what people are already working on to see where you can help. Now, for those of you with FLL teams or are on FLL teams, you'll already know that the First LEGO League robot missions are a great place to find inspiration for your research project. The LEGO models on this field, they represent different inventions that relate to the replay theme, and some of them are extremely interesting. You can find a rundown of the mission models at the link on this slide. And then finally, this may be a little less conventional, there really is no better place to read a pitch than Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a website where anyone can raise money for their invention by pitching to people like you and me. It's a really fun place to explore new inventions and find inspiration for your own. That's all I have for you guys today. We're going to go to Q&A at this point, but as always, thank you for attending. If you do have a minute, we would greatly appreciate your feedback on this webinar to help us improve our future webinars.